Rigetti quantum computing stock is up about 23% today after a massive move, and we're up a little bit over $1,000 in the green over in our Schwab portfolio. Our open P&L percent is up 29% on Rigetti. So as we're seeing this move take place, the reality is, if you look at the overall time frames, Rigetti's starting to make this move. Let's just hide all the drawings, just take a step back. This is a quantum computing company that is one of the main leaders in tech. They are, for a quantum company, they are in Berkeley in California. They were just at around $1 a share, under $1, when we started covering them back in November. And since then, they've been an under $1 share stock. Not since then, but at that time. Then they soared to about $21 per share in January of 2025. So they made this big run right in the last few months of 2024 when we were covering them. We were able to trade them and make a considerable amount of profits through some of the ups and downs and the overall up with Rigetti. Then we had this big sell-off because of the announcement from NVIDIA. So this is kind of a big look, right? So here's start of the year, start to see it sell off in February, and then really was consolidating from left to right for a few months there, from February through March into April, and then just breaking out recently. And if we show the drawings again, you can start to see there's that consolidation left to right. Then it started to climb here in April, and it's had this consistent uptrend holding above this 200-day moving average, and then just recently broke out of the trend, more bullish, and pulling back down. So there's a couple things to consider. Is now we're seeing the price going from, at one point today, $10 up to $14.50. With this recent pull down in the past few hours, so we're on a 1 hour candlestick, you see in the past 4 hours it's sold down. So it did get rejected there. It's sold down about 6%. And where did it get rejected? It got rejected right here. So this is a level at which it's been rejected before, right? So this level is a pretty strong support right here. There's a support back in December. Then you get into January, kind of resistance, February resistance. And then recently, if you look at that same level, we did see a rejection there today. So it just got rejected, but now it's pulling back down. And what do we know about previous resistance? Well, with this overall swing up, you can see this rising resistance level here, resistance up here, and now it's pulling back down, and that previous resistance may act as a support. So what we're looking for is two things on the chart. The first thing we're looking at is that it holds this level here, this previous resistance, at around $13 to $13.30. If it holds that level, then we're looking to see if we can get that break, the true hyper bullish, right? It's already up 23% today, but a hyper bullish trend would be breaking out above that $14 range, and then we could start to see the previous highs. Previous highs would be a 50% increase from there, which from current prices is about a 60% increase, right? From current price to previous highs. So we've seen it there before. Does that mean it's going to make it there again? Not necessarily. Does the recent trend in quantum with IonQ going up 30%, QBTS up 24%, you got Rigetti now 23%, does that kind of maybe tie into some of the momentum, and that if it was going to make the run up to this previous resistance, right now would be the time? Yes, I would say if it was going to make the move, now is the time where it just got a tremendous jump in one day. So you got to watch it closely. Now, if it breaks below here, this level, then the next level down is this previous level, this previous pretty strong support and resistance at around $11. So overall, Rigetti, a nice swing. Again, we're up 30% open, so we're happy with the overall position there. Portfolio, just capturing a fraction of some of the gains of quantum, but 4% up today, so we're doing well. And what we're looking for is that move to take place. So now that we're up in our long-term positions, I'm not going to touch anything. And some of the shorter-term positions will most likely take profit, or we'll look for that dip down here. If it starts to break below, we're going to sell below that 13 and 30 cent range. The technicals look fairly good. Again, hyper bullish trend here, but the RSI, the MACD, now indicating this overbought signal. And so it doesn't mean it's going to sell down, but it does mean that it has most likely, if it's going to sell down, it's going to break below right here, this $13 range. And that's when I could see maybe we get down into this previous 12 to 12.50 range. So what would be ideal is a sell down at market open that we've been seeing notoriously. I mean, even this morning, what happened this morning? You had a little dip down there to 1075 and then boom, skyrocketed. Some of the biggest moves happened right there. See that big move? Right at 6 a.m. on May 14th. And so you can see that. It's pretty evident that some of the biggest moves, like right here, you see that dip at market open, and then it rocketed throughout the day on May 8th. Right there, that's on, it happened at market open. What about this big surge right here? Right here at 6 a.m., you see that? Surged up. Now, the same thing is true. Like, we get the dips at market open sometimes, but why we trade live each morning in StockMates is because those swings happen at market open. And if you ever want to see our daily live trading, feel free. I do my analysis here on YouTube. It's totally free. But you can also, this is, this industry is projected to grow to $3 to $5 trillion in the next few years. Rigetti, a multi-billion-dollar company, it's getting some momentum, and quantum computing stocks are making more and more sense to invest in. So we invest in quantum tech, AI, space, as well as getting into some new robotics that we'll be covering here in the near term. So make sure to subscribe. But if you ever want to see our entries and our exits, it's the second link in the description down below. You get an email every morning with our live session. It's a private community, and you also get to see me trade in the morning. So this morning we were trading, we had some Rigetti, but we had some Big Bear AI as well. So we entered that trade, and that's doing quite well. And what we're looking for Rigetti is this continued direction. Part of what's working well in their favor is their recent financials. Their recent financials came out, and their net income improved to $42 million, up 305% year over year. So the net income looking better, but revenue's still pretty low there. So you got to keep that in mind, but net income up. So cutting some expenses and probably feeling some of the recent stimulus, as there's a bill that was just passed for $2.7 billion that's standing to benefit all of the quantum computing companies like Rigetti, IonQ, and others. And also, this is something some people don't really know, but when you look at like the Stargate's $500 billion initiative from the US and OpenAI, this is an AI push here that happened earlier in the year, back in late January. Part of the companies that are there, you got SoftBank. So SoftBank and Oracle, but also you got OpenAI there, but Microsoft, right, are pretty big investors in quantum. So if you just kind of just take a look, you got like SoftBank. This is the CEO of Quantinium. They have a partnership with SoftBank, so that's a quantum company. You got so Quantinium's there, right? They got that partnership. I actually got to meet some of the scientists at Quantinium at the CES conference that I went to earlier this year, and they were saying there's a lot more focus on the quantum space from bigger companies and investing in them. And so what does that mean? Well, when you have like SoftBank, for example, pledging the billions of dollars, and then also being pretty tight in the quantum space, it just opens up more. I wouldn't say certainty, but I would say maybe more of uh, a speculative assertion that some of that billions of dollars for Stargate's AI may, if it's US based AI innovation and data centers and quote infrastructure, quantum computing companies are really going to be the, um, I believe, one of the main drivers of AI. As AI demands more energy, quantum companies will stand to benefit from that. And so, as we start to look at Rigetti and their new building out of their quantum computing, the special part about their company is that they're they're right there near Palo Alto. They're in Berkeley, California. They're pretty close to the main companies. They have partnerships with Nvidia. They got institutional investors. They have their QPUs set up for example, Microsoft to pop their chip into their quantum computer there. And their quantum computers are available right now through the cloud. So I'm just watching them closely right now and holding our long-term investments. And we've been covering them for, about 6 months now. We start covering them back here. There's a reason why we're seeing this build in market cap. I don't think it's, merely chance that we've seen this push up happen. It's because of the infrastructure that is seeing investments in by an AI investor movement for the boom of AI, and quantum companies being maybe at the forefront of that pioneering technology and what's happening with AI. So we'll see if it holds this level. Again, we're going to watch that level at 1330, see if that opportunity presents itself in a pullback potentially at market open that we may be able to take advantage of. And other than that, if you guys want to join us there, it's the second link below. Fire your thumbs up, hit the like button, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.